Alright guys, welcome to the session and I hope all of you guys are doing good. So let's get started with today's session. In this particular session, we are going to talk about generative AI, and also we are going to have some of the hands-on on the chat GPT. We'll try to understand how it's going to help us on a day-to-day task. So what is a generative AI? Basically, it refers to artificial intelligence systems that can create new original content based on the data they have been trained on. For example, ChatGPT, it was trained on various different data sets which are available, your novels, your internet, everywhere it is taking the data and from that trying to get the learning from that data, and based on that it is generating the content. It can produce texts, images, audios, videos, and more, making it powerful tool for creative tasks. People are talking about AI since 1950s. They were implementing that, trying to implement that, but the problem was obviously the data storage capacity and at the same time processing the data. So around 1980s, they have started using machine learning, and in around 2010s, the concept of deep learning coming in, because by that time we were having good amount of processing power and at the same time we had a good amount of storage capacity as well. Plus, based on the document generated by Jeffrey Hinton and his team, they have come up with a concept of backpropagation, which is making it more computationally powerful. So that is the reason they have now, like, people are now using AI quite extensively after 2010, because many companies like Facebook, Amazon, and so on, they have created their models because they are already on top of huge amount of data set. So the rise of neural networks and increased computation power led to the development of generative models. For example, in this example, we are going to talk about GPT-3 and DALL-E as well, which is basically helping me to get the image creation also. Right, so generative AI can be important for us in today as well in the industries like entertainment, healthcare, software development. It enables automation in creative processes, facilitates personalization, and boosts efficiency, providing powerful tools for innovation. Now, there are different types of generative AI models we have. So first one is known as variational autoencoders, which is in short form known as VAEs. Again, I'm just talking, I'm not writing anything, I'm not displaying any PPT, I'm just talking about it. So you can just listen to me and then we'll see some of the practical use case of these models. So VAEs are the probabilistic models that generate new data by learning the latent representation of input data. They are used for tasks like image generation and data compression. There are other generative AI models also available like GANs, generative adversarial networks, which consist of two networks. One is a generator and one is a discriminator. The generator creates the data and the discriminator evaluates its authenticity. This back and forth process leads to highly realistic outputs, commonly used in image synthesis and deepfakes. For example, let's say I want to create a picture, right? I want to create a picture where kids are playing cricket on the beach and mountains are also there, and it's a night time with full moon. So here I'm giving the description about the image which I'm looking for, and based on that description it is trying to create an image. And if you don't like it, obviously you can ask it to create again and it will generate the new image as well. So here you can see it is doing something under the hood and it will create an image which is again a copyright free image. So that is impacting all the people who are into the content creation, because these models are now available and these models can help to generate a lot of interesting outputs, and that is impacting the content creation job profile quite drastically. So those guys who are working on a redundant type of tasks, so chances are there that AI will replace by that, and you have to be upgrading yourself so that you can be in the industry. So how to create this particular login, how to go ahead and how to create this particular account? You have to go to the OpenAI website. And you have to go to openai.com, and here you can see there is an option of products. In the products, you can see chat GPT login. You have to log in with your credentials. I already logged in with my credentials. You have to give this thing, what do you say, all the details about yourself, and based on that, the image, based on that, the account will get created. As of now, you can see it's not creating. Let me ask again, try once again. Let's see. If not, then I'll change the model and I will try to create the image. So in the meantime, so generative AI models, one more model which we have is known as transformer, which is focusing on, you can see here, the pictures are coming in where as per our description, you can see that the images are coming in. I can change it. I can change it and I can very well go ahead and I can uh, ask some modifications on the images as well. Can we read the data from the image? The answer is yes, absolutely. If I have any image, I can give that information as well. For example, let's say I'm having one of the balance sheet. Let's say this is the Apple's balance sheet, right, which consists of certain details. Here you go. I'll just copy this and I'll paste it here. I can ask any question. For example, let's say what is the total liabilities in 2019 September, right? So I can ask what is the total liabilities in 2019 September. So as per the number, you can see how much it is, 248028. And here you can see that 248028 is coming in. So it can read the image, it can create the image, it can read the Excel file. All those things I'm going to talk about. We have some time here. We'll discuss that. But that is the idea, right? That is the idea. Basically, generative AI models can help me to do my task quickly. Whether you are a coder, whether you are a, what do you say, you are an instructor, whether you are a lecturer in your college, you can actually create a lot of content for your class as well. Same way, suppose you are working on certain coding and you are facing some error in the code. You can ask ChatGPT that this is what the code is and I'm getting this error. Fix the same. It will fix that and give you the correct code as well. I remember when I was working for Deloitte, we had a client where we had to convert all the SAS programming code to Python. So we had to understand the entire code in the SAS and then we have to recreate that in Python with all the logics. But now that task is also very simple. I can just give the SAS code in ChatGPT and it will convert that to Python. So all those redundant tasks, which is like time consuming tasks, are now very much easy for us to solve. So use case of generative AI, again, content creation, which is one of the quite extensively used these days, right? So I'm also creating a lot of content from my for my sessions and for my clients from the chat GPT to do the presentations and all. So content creation, text, art, music, these are some of the things which we can create. We can use this in the healthcare as well, like drug discovery, personalized medicine, and so on. Software development also we can use for code generation. In entertainment, like movie script writing, gaming, all those things can also be done. Right, so let's take some of the examples here. We'll see how this can be used in our day-to-day task. For example, let's say I have written one code. Let's say here is my code. I'm just opening that. Let's say a simple code here. I am just pasting in my chat GPT. So here is the simple code which I have, right? Which is doing something. Let's say I am removing certain character from the code, and I can say that I am getting the error. Fix this. Also highlight where was the problem. So what we did, I have removed a square bracket here and a comma from here, right? In this particular line. So here you can see that it is saying the problem is this part exactly it is picking up, and it is changing here. Added a missing closing parenthesis and comma. So you got the final code, which is going to run perfectly fine. That is one of the use cases. When you are running, you are missing some code, so you are missing some commas, then you can go and you can ask ChatGPT that this is what the problem I'm facing. How will I fix that? Second is documentation. Whenever we are writing a code, we have to give proper documentation as well. That is nothing but each and every code, what each line of a code, what it is doing. So what I can do, I can copy this again and I can say that give the detailed explanation of the code line by line as a comment so that end user can understand. So here you can see that it is going to generate the output again, which is going to give me the end-to-end detailed understanding about each and every line of a code, taking input from the user, storing in the variable s, and so on, initializing the variable I equal to 0. And you can see for each and every line, I am getting the proper details. So for the documentation point of view, it is very good. When we are working in a software development, we have to create a proper documentation, proper commenting, proper Word document, which will help me understand about the entire program. So I can copy all these things and I can put that in my documentation, which is a good time saving for us. Apart from that, let's say I want to do some data analysis as well. I'm going to my desktop and here, let's say there is one file, tips.csv, which is one of the CSV files. I will just ask what's there in the file, right? So it is going to give me the entire understanding. You can see under the hood, it is running. So here you can see it is hitting Python, and under the hood, it is reading the file, and you can see the output coming in, and it is giving me the entire details. The file contains data set with the following columns, this, and so on. Now let's say I want to do some analysis, right? I want to do some analysis and I want to get the insights. For example, how many males and females are there in my customer base? So how many males and females are there? So you can see that it is again going to hit and get the data information. You can see it is running the code under the hood and it's giving me the output that there are 157 males and 87 females are there. Let's say I want to create a chart. I want to get, and again, one more interesting thing here is that at the bottom, it is giving me some of the suggestions as well. That, okay, this is the data set which you have. So you can go ahead and you can create this type of analysis as well. So how many smokers are there in the data set? What is the average tip amount? So my interest is I want to create a chart which will show me all the gender and smoker and their average total sales, total bill. Right. So that is how it is going to generate the output. But we should not add attachment with respect to company specific, how much secure it is. Yes, we cannot add the company's data and security point of view. If you are working on a critical client data, then it is not advisable to go and put your data. But what you can do is you can create a mock-up. You can create a mock data of the same type which your company is using, and then you can ask suggestions that what all things can be done, what all type of analysis I can do. So that much we can do where we are mocking up the data and we are doing it. Secondly, companies are creating their own AIs as well. These days, companies are creating their own models, so that they can use their own models, right? So that is one of the solution as well. So security point of view, as of now, it's not clear whether we can go and use the critical information or not. So obviously, it is not advisable to go for it for now, right? So here you can see the chart coming in, and this is the chart showing me what is the average total bill by gender and smoker. So you can see that for females, roughly the bill is almost the same, whether you are a smoker or not. And if you see in the males, the bill is higher for the smoker. Yes is nothing but smoker, right? So that is how we can get the insights. We can very well download this chart and I can very well put that in the PPT as well. In fact, I can ask ChatGPT to export this chart into PPT also. For example, let's say, give me the detailed end-to-end analysis of the data set and create all the important charts and export that in the PPT. Did you already mention how to create the account? Yes, I already mentioned this is the website, openai.com. You have to go to the products and ChatGPT login. You have to create your account by giving your Google details, and after that you can play around. It's free, but again, some of the features are not available. For that, you have to get the subscription, which is going to cost you around $20 per month. Can it be integrated to our IDE like Visual Studio and whole project code can be analyzed? It cannot be integrated directly with the Visual Studio, but there is a concept of API, which I'm going to talk about in some time. So you can connect API with Python, and then you can leverage the power of OpenAI models through the API. So here you can see we have entire analysis coming in, right? And it exported that in the PowerPoint. Let me download this PowerPoint and let's see what's coming in. So here you can see that we have the entire end-to-end understanding, the charts coming in. We can obviously change the charts. We can, if you're not liking the charts, you can ask to change it. All those things can be done. But you can see a basic PPT is coming up with all the information. So that is one of the parts of data analysis which we can do, right? Copilot and ChatGPT serve same sort of function. Yes, Copilot and ChatGPT is like same. If you click on the Copilot, here also will have certain messages you can. I don't use this much, but yes, the idea is the same. Okay, so that is one of the use cases which we have. Apart from that, if you want to write an email, right? If you want to write a resume, all those things can be done as well. For example, let's say I have my resume and I want to rewrite this. My resume is just of 4-5 pages. I want to rewrite to 1 page. So I can say that create a resume of 1 pager and get all the information from the attached resume. So it will read all the information and based on that, it is going to generate the entire 1 pager resume for me. So that is again a quite interesting task which we can do, because again, content creation is like we have to think a lot about the entire, what do you say, content which you have to build, right? So that will be a bit of a time consuming process, but this can help me to go ahead and make the things quite quick. So here you can see the information coming in. Here you can see it's not giving me the entire uh, jobs which I worked with. I worked with Deloitte, Cognitive Analytics, The Scholar. Apart from that, I work with Capgemini, Tech Mahindra. All those information is also present in that resume. So I can say, give all the companies tenure as well, right? So here you can see it will give me the all the companies tenure also. Suppose you are into HR and you are, can you please repeat how API is used in Python? I did not talk about that till now. Please wait for some time. I'll talk about that. So here you can see all the companies coming in. Tech Mahindra, Capgemini, Accenture. So entire details coming as a one-pager resume. Let's say I'm into HR and I want to know whether this particular guy is fit for data scientist or not. Right. So let me ask, is this resume looks good for data science job role? So here it will give me the output. I can ask in one pager. I can ask for, I can ask for one word, yes or no, or I can ask for the detailed understanding as well. So here you can see that resume looks solid for a data science job and so on coming in. Suppose I want in a single line, let's say, is this resume good for data analytics job role? Give me the output in single word, yes or no, right? So it will just give me output in a single word. Same way, if I say, is this resume good for a web developer? Given yes or no. It should not be, I guess. Yeah. So that is how the output coming in. So that is again, you can do the sentiment analysis as well. Suppose let's say you are into some business and you are getting a lot of feedbacks and you want to go ahead and you have to work on the sentiment analysis for the same. So you can very well do that as well. For example, let's say I'm going to Amazon. Let's say this is the product which I am interested in. Here you can see a lot of feedbacks at the bottom. Let's say I'm taking the 1-star rating. Let's say I'll take this bit of a bigger feedback, right? I'll copy this. I'll paste it here. Is what is this feedback? Positive or negative? Give the reasons for the same. So here you can see that it is going to tell me the feedback is negative and here are the reasons for the same. So this is what the reasons coming in. Now, once I'm aware of this, what I want is I want to create an email to the end user and I want to apologize for the same. And at the same time, I want to give him a discount coupon as well for the next purchase. So I can say that, write an email to the user, apology email, and give him her coupon code next visit 50, which will give him her the 50% discount. Sign the email as AI assistant and also the user's name is Rahul. So now here you can see that you will get the email, dear Rahul, and all those things, right? So I have given the coupon as well, next visit 50, which will be for 50% discount. And again, you're getting the output. Dell support team, you can see that the product is from Dell, right? So automatically understood and it just wrote AI assistant, Dell support team. So that type of emails generation is also very much possible. Minutes of meeting, right? A lot of content creation. You have smaller data set. You can just put that information, and based on that, the output will be coming in. So that is the front end part. And again, I'll talk about one more tool which is available, generated by someone in ChatGPT, which is whimsical diagrams. So this is also one of the important tools which you can leverage if you are new to the programming and if you don't know how to write the code and all. So this particular tool will definitely help you quite extensively. For example, let's say I want to create a code which will convert, which will basically help me understand whether the number is even or odd in Python. So I want to create a flowchart. So I can say that uh, create a flowchart. And again, this is a simple use case. You can write complex use case as well in this particular tool. So create a flowchart which will, whimsical is free. Yes, absolutely. Like this particular chatbot is free. I'll share this link with you guys. So create a uh, flowchart which will check if the number is even or odd in Python. So here you can see that it is going to generate the entire flowchart in a pictorial format, right? So you can see it's coming in. It's generating the flowchart. Does ChatGPT train on all input we provide as well? It trains or not under the hood, I'm not sure about that, but yes, whatever information we are passing, it is generating the output. Whether OpenAI is taking that data for further training or not, that again we have to check on the documentation from the ChatGPT, from the OpenAI. So here you can see the entire flowchart coming in. Click on this. That's why I told you that do not use the sensitive data, right? That is the idea. So here you can see the entire flowchart coming in, which you can download and you can use for your reference. Can it support predictive modeling as well? Yes, absolutely. It is supporting the predictive modeling as well. For example, same tips data set which I have used, right? Create a model which will predict the total bill, right? So it will just run the entire model and it will create a model which is a regression model, and it will generate the entire IPYNB file as well. If you want, you can export that file also. So all those things are possible. But again, as it is coming from the different company, so can we use it for our company or not? As of now, it's a bit of restrictive. That's why companies are creating their own models rather than be dependent on some other company's model. So here you can see that the model entirely coming in and entire coefficients and everything coming in. I can ask that, okay, export this entire code in the IPYNB file. So it will export the entire code as well. Right, so that is one of the use case. A lot of things can be done. Again, it's a very open platform where you can do a lot of things. And I'm, again, as I mentioned, I am using this quite extensively these days and creating a lot of content. The second thing is this API. If you go to the products, there is an option of API login, and you will get this type of page. Here you can see, actually they have changed this entire front end. So let me just find that out. So you will see here one more thing. This ChatGPT, there is an option of $20 per month as well, which is going to give you some extra benefits, which I have enrolled to. So I'm using that particular version. When you're going with the free option, then there will be some limitations. Right? You can check that from the OpenAI website. What all limitations are there? Here you can see the second part, API. API is basically nothing but which can be helping me to connect the power of OpenAI models with all the different tools available. For example, Python, Excel, PowerPoint, Google Sheets, Google Docs, If I want to integrate the power of OpenAI model with those softwares, I can very well do that through the help of this particular API. To get this, you have to go somewhere here. Here you can see billing, you have to pay some cost. Just give me a second because they have changed this front end. So just give me a second. This is the entire documentation. If you want to connect Python with your OpenAI, you have to install this particular package in Python. PIP install OpenAI. Then only you can connect Python with OpenAI models API. Right. So this is, you will see the entire documentation here about the same. Here you can see API keys, right? So here you can create your own API key. Let me remove this. API is basically nothing but helping me to connect the power of OpenAI models with other softwares. I click on this new secret key. Let's say my test, create a key. And this is the key which I have to copy. Let me put it here. So this is the entire key, right, which you have to put in. This is the key, which is alphanumeric type of key. This key you have to pass in the, whether you are using Excel. Suppose let's say I'm going to Excel. And again, in Excel, your Excel should be 365, right? Office 365 Excel should be there. Then you will get an option of add-ins, and you have to connect to the extensions. Here I have one of the extensions, GPT for Excel. You have to pay for this, right? This extend, if you want to use this extension, you have to pay for this. And then you have to give your entire key here, right? Here there is an option of passing the key somewhere. API key. And you have to pass the key here. Right? And then your this thing will be connected. I think my free trial is ended. I did not pay for it, so I cannot use that. But yeah, this is what we have. Same way you can do for the Google Sheets as well. You have to pay a certain cost for it, and then you can connect the power of this API. Apart from that, this API will be a cost as well, purely based on your usages, right? How much prompt you are giving to the machine, that will be a cost, and how much text the machine is throwing out, that will be a cost. So there will be input and output cost we have. That's why, suppose let's say I'm using OpenAI models for my company's website. So I prefer to give a proper prompts upfront to the end user so that end user can only pass those prompts which are very much making some sense. If they put some random prompts, that will be a cost for me only because that is my website. I'm connected with the OpenAI models, and whatever random prompt end user will pass, that will be a cost for me. Input and output both. So that's why there are a lot of job profiles also available these days, which is for prompt engineers. They are going to suggest the proper prompts which you can pass in the model so that you will get the correct responses. So that job profile is again quite extensively available in the US, at least as of now. Okay. So this is the API which you can connect to with all the programs. Again, if you want to connect to Python, then you have to first install uh, OpenAI. If you are aware of Python, then you have to go to PIP list, and OpenAI will just check whether OpenAI is there or not. So here you can see LMNOP. OpenAI is there. So the package is there. I have already installed that. So I have to just go and use Python. I have to install, I have to import OpenAI and I have to give the key. So here we can go. So import OpenAI dot key, API key. You have to pass that key. Right, this key you have to pass. And then once the key is passed, you have to create one function. All those documentation again you will find in this website only. In the docs you will find the details. This type of function you have to create. This for Node.js, same way for Python will be also available. So that documentation, if you want, you can click on this link and you can go through that. I'm pinging you on the chat. Okay, so this is the OpenAI link as well for your reference, from where you can create your account. And you can create your account and play around with that. OpenAI also have their app as well available in the mobile phones. So you can go to the mobile and you can download the ChatGPT app and you can leverage the power of OpenAI models through your mobile phones as well. So these are the benefits which we are having using the powerful tool ChatGPT. Again, there are other tools also available like Copilot, Gemini, and so on. But this is like quite extensively used, OpenAI, and this was the first one which was launched and people are using it quite extensively. Can we send prompt along with files to ChatGPT and receive back the answer in text or in files as the API response? We can do that. It's again, you have to write the code for it. What is the exact use of API models? See, the use of API models is what? Suppose let's say you are OpenAI created the model, right? The ChatGPT model which they have created, 4o whatever models they have created, they own it. But now your interest is that you want to create your own website, which will have the AI assistant with you. And you cannot create your own AI assistant. So in your website, you want to integrate with the OpenAI, the model which they have created. So what will I do? Suppose let's say the website which I am creating is on Node.js or I am creating that on Python. So I want to connect the power of Python. I want to connect the power of ChatGPT models with Python. So in that case, what will I do? I have to integrate ChatGPT or OpenAI models with Python. And for that, API key is required. Right? So that is the idea. So whenever you want to connect the power of OpenAI models with any other software like Python, Excel, PowerPoint, Google Sheets, Google Docs, whatever, you have to go ahead and you have to use the APIs. API will be having a cost. Whatever prompt you are giving to the OpenAI model, that prompt OpenAI model will understand, right? So that will be a cost. And based on that prompt, OpenAI will respond back. So that will be a cost as well. So you have to give the correct prompt so that your input output cost will not be much. And that's why the prompt engineers type of job profile is coming in, which is basically helping you to find the best prompts, which can give you the best responses. That is the idea. I also created one application just for my understanding point of view. So I had a MySQL database and any idea why input cost is there? Why input cost will not be there? Machine will understand, right? If I'm saying I want to know who is the president of US, so machine will have to understand that what you are asking. So will they not charge for the input? They will obviously, because machine is trying to understand what you are asking. So that is their efforts which they are putting in. So here, what I did actually, I had a MySQL database which was having employees data, and I connected Python with OpenAI. I created the front end using the Streamlit, which is one of the packages in Python. I created the front end, where in front end I was asking how many employees are there and so on. So this OpenAI is passing that prompt, like basically understanding that prompt, what I'm asking. OpenAI passing the SQL query, select star from employees where employee table, right? Something like that, and responding it back. So that type of application also you can create. You can integrate the power of OpenAI with Python and the database, give the prompts in the English language, and the output will be coming in the SQL query and the proper output. 107 employees are there, something like that. So that type of integration is also possible. But again, this database as of now is my local machine database, not critical information. So I was okay with that. But if it is a critical information, then you may not use that. You have to use your own AI models. Many companies are building their own models. The reason is obviously they don't want to expose their data to the other companies for the security point of view. Right. So that is the idea. But again, through OpenAI, at least people are now working on these type of models and they are building it, and that is obviously increasing a lot of job opportunities for you guys as well, who are having the knowledge of AI and various concepts of AI, and that is giving a lot of job openings for us. Will that impact our jobs? As of now, the answer is no. It's just whatever jobs we are having, the redundant jobs, that is obviously many of the jobs are now no longer there, like content creation, some of the redundant tasks which machine can do now. So they have to upgrade themselves so that they can be very much relevant in the industry. So they have to be aware of these concepts. Rather than getting scared of AI, you have to learn that, and that will impact positively in your careers. So that is the idea. And I gave you the brief understanding about the same, how the model works. A lot of things can be done, a lot of information we can give and get from the machine, and that will definitely help you to learn, to grow, and at the same time, a lot of complex tasks, a lot of redundant tasks you can solve through the OpenAI models or other models in place of OpenAI as well, which will make you efficient, right? Rather than working on this, you can just go and you can work on this entire models and make yourself efficient. Content creation, email generation, whatever you want, you can very well do that. Save a lot of your time. And that is the best part as of now. Okay. So that is what I wanted to discuss. Any doubts now you have? We can have a discussion on the same. This was a brief understanding about this tool. Any doubts? Let me know. So let's. I don't see any questions coming in. I hope you guys are clear. You can create your account, play around with that, get the insights, do some of the tasks which can reduce your reusable task, right? So you can make it happen. So it was nice connecting with you. So we'll see you in the next session. Till then, take care, guys.